All right, people. Hey, hope you're doing great. We're gonna get going here. We need big brain today. We're gonna eat up some brain cells from you. Okay, so I need your best effort. 2-9 literally takes all the stuff that we did in 2-7 and all the stuff we did in 2-8 and morphs them together here in 2-9. We will spend probably 3 days on 2-9 just because it's that challenging, right? So we're in our workbooks. We should be, I don't know, somewhere around page 140-ish.
40. I'm going to go
You know what I mean?
140.
Mr. Earl's guessing 140. I'm going to say it's a bit higher than that. I'll go 145. He's going to tell us here in a second.
142.
142.
142. I win.
That's right. Price is Right rules. I went over. Here we go. 142.
What is the equation of a line for a non-proportional relationship?
Non-proportional.
Think about this question during the lesson.
Okay. I'm thinking. I got my
The
thinking hat
middle
on.
school student council is organizing a dance and has $500 to pay for a DJ.
Sweet.
DJ Dave will charge $200 for a setup fee and the first hour, or $425 for a setup fee and 4 hours. How can the student council determine whether they can afford to have the DJ play for 5 hours?
They can
Our
just
first
ask him.
step is to use a graph to plot the total cost for DJ Dave for 1 hour
That would be easy enough.
and for 4 hours.
Okay.
Draw a straight line through the points. What is the initial value, or y-intercept, of the line? What does it represent?
Okay. So, hey, this is 2-8 stuff here. So we should easily be able to identify y-intercept. Got to be this number right here. What does it represent? Well, it's going to represent however much DJ Dave is charging just to show up, right? So he charges what looks to be, okay, here's 100, here's 150. I'm going to guess 125. You good with that, Mr. Knoll?
I love it.
Okay, so 125 is that initial fee or starting quantity, right, for DJ Dave. That's how much we got to pay him just for him to show up to this awesome dance.
The initial value, or y-intercept, is 125.
That was right.
DJ Dave charges a $125 initial fee.
Yep.
Now calculate the slope.
We can
The
do
slope
this.
is 75.
2 ordered
DJ
pairs,
Dave's hourly rate is
y minus y,
$75.
x minus x.
Why does 75 represent the slope?
Okay, so 75, again, we talk about identifying slope from a word problem and looking for that word per or each, okay? Again, DJ Dave charges $75 per hour. So that means it's 75 y values for every 1 x value, right? That's how they come up with $75 per hour. That's our slope. That's what it means.
$75 is the hourly rate DJ Dave charges. Every hour, X, adds another $75 to the cost.
Yep.
Y. Write an equation to represent the total cost for DJ Dave for any number of hours.
Whoa.
Total cost is equal to the hourly rate times the number of hours, plus the initial fee. Using the data we have, we can write the equation y is equal to 75 times x, plus 125. This equation is in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b, where n is the rate of change,
We've seen
or
this
slope,
before.
and b is the initial value, or y-intercept.
Ah,
We can now evaluate the equation to find the total cost for 5 hours. Which variable has a value of 5?
was 5
Select your
a
answer.
y variable or was 5 an x variable? Think back to that graph, right? We had total cost going up and down. We had hours going across the bottom. So again, x-axis, right, were our hours. So I think we should choose x. So replace x with that number.
5 is the value of x, since x represents the number of hours. Now simplify. To solve. The total cost is $500. The
Okay.
student council can afford DJ Dave.
Way to go, DJ Dave.
DJ Dave.
Okay, moving on.
So, that's how you can use an equation of the form y equals m times x x plus b to solve a problem involving a non-proportional relationship.
Okay. So guys, real quickly, Mr. Noel, can you bring this up for me? Make that larger. Okay? So we've seen the first half of this, right? This is literally what we did in 2.7, right? This was a proportional relationship, and this is its equation. Bam! Now we introduce you to the whole thing, right? This is a non-proportional relationship. Why? Because it starts right here at this b number, okay? Not the origin. We are going to write our equations, okay, in that form. We call that form slope-intercept, okay?
Slope.
Intercept. Because it identifies the slope of the line and the y-intercept of the line.
That's cool.
Okay? All right, so there was example 1, folks.
Well, we got to do the triad.
Whoa. You're right. We should do, yeah, there you go. Click that. Okay. So, guys, we're really going to have to do 2 main things in 2-9. Thing number 1, graph equations, where they give me the slope-intercept form. Thing number 2, write equations. Okay, looks like we're doing some writing on this one. Look, we only have to do 2 things. I lied, 3. Thing number 1, find slope. Thing number 2, find the y-intercept. We should be good at both of those because that's all we've been doing for the last week. Okay? Thing number 3, you got to put both pieces of the puzzle together to write your equation. So here's what it looks like, my friends. Let's find slope first, okay? Find me 2 good points. Good point here. Good point here. Good point here. I don't care which 2 you use, all right? I'm going to use this one. This is at 4, 5. I can never get those ones right, so I ain't going to worry about that one. I'm going to use this one up here. This is at 8, 8. All right? So if I'm finding slope, I'm just going to say, hey, m is my slope. Y minus y, 8 minus 5. X minus x, 8 minus 4. Keep going. 3 over 4. Okay, it's a fraction, leave it. We're cool with fractions. All right, so 3/4 is my slope. Makes sense because this is positive. This line's going uphill. That all matches. The second thing I need to do, come up with my y-intercept. We should be very good at this. You study this graph. You look at it. You go, Put it in the tumble machine. And it gives you the number 2.
You put that in the tumble machine?
No, I'm just kidding. I brought that back for the kids. They love the tumble machine. All right. So, guys, my y-intercept is 2, right? That is your b value. We know our m value is 3/4, okay? The last thing we have to do is put it all together. All right? Here you go. Just like we did in 2.7, where we replaced m with that slope, we're going to do the same thing here. So m is going to turn into 3/4. X and y stay where they are, people. Don't make them disappear. That is the number 1 8th grade mistake. We just write y equals 3/4. No. B is your y-intercept. If it's a positive number, we're going to put plus that number. If it is a negative number, we're going to put minus that number. 2 positive. Okay? So we put it all together, guys. It looks like this. Go away. Y equals 3/4 x plus 2. Bam. That's all we have to do, guys. That is one of the things that we will do here in 2-9. Writing an equation from a graph. Okay? I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and look at example number 2. All right. No. There you go.
A saltwater solution is cooled to -6 degrees Celsius.
Brr.
During an experiment, the mixture is heated so that its temperature rises at a steady rate. Write an equation to represent the temperature Y after X minutes.
Okay. Again, people, we got to do 2 things. Then we can write it. Identify the slope, identify the y-intercept from a graph. Okay, we've done this before. I know we can do it. All right, look, I think the y-intercept is this point right here. Okay, that number. I think the slope is going to be found by picking out two good ordered pairs, right? 2 good points.
Where would you find 2 good points?
Well, Mr. Knoll, I'm glad you asked. I see a good point here. I also see a good one here. I even like that one up there. I like that one there. I like that one there.
There's a lot of good
Okay,
points there.
so, folks,
I like that.
Mr. Knoll says that all the time.
Folks,
It doesn't matter which 2 you pick, the slope is identical. So if you pick these 2 here, then you're going to get the same slope as if you picked these 2 here, okay? So we're going to do what we do there, y minus y over x minus x, find your slope. This one has a y-intercept of what, gang? -6, okay? Then you just need to write it like we did before, okay? Mr. Knoll's going to go down and hit the next, and they're going to do all that for us. There we go. So look, we said the y-intercept was -6. They found the slope to be 6 over 3. That's also the number 2 because I know 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then just write your equation in slope-intercept form, okay? Slope-intercept form. So my slope replaces m, 2. My y-intercept replaces b. Because it's a negative number, they put -6. Okay? There's the equation of that line on the graph. Okay? So we've written 2 equations on example 1 and 2. Hopefully we get to graph something here on example 3. Who's to say? Don't know.
I wonder.
Graph the equation y equals -4x plus 3.
Okay, we can do this.
The first step is to use the equation to identify the y-intercept, which is 3. Plot the y-intercept at the coordinates 0, 3.
Got it? Okay. I guess.
That's
The
easy.
next step is to use the equation to identify the slope, which is the coefficient of x. The
-4.
slope is -4, or -4 wholes. A negative slope means that the line is decreasing.
Going downhill.
To locate another point on the line, start at the point of coordinates 0, 3, and then go down 4, and write 1. Plot the second point at the
We've done
coordinates
this.
1,
Rise
-1.
-4, run 1.
We've done it.
Okay.
Nothing new.
So guys, the only difference here, and I don't know if anybody caught it, nobody raised their hand out there when they're going over. Did you notice where they started?
I did.
Right? When we graphed back in 2.7, where did we always start? We always started here at the origin. But now, we have a starting quantity now. So now, instead of starting at the origin, we start at that quantity or that number. In this case, it happened to be 3. Okay? We still graph it the exact same way. Instead of, hey, put your point on the origin and then move from there. Now we're going to put our point on 3. And now we're going to move from there. So now we're going to do our rise over run. So we're going to rise, 2 and run 1. Whatever it is. Whatever the slope is. Okay?
The third step is to draw a line through the 2 points.
That's our favorite part. Because
This
that means we're
line
done.
represents the equation y equals -4x plus 3.
You got it.
Okay. Let's try it.
Okay? So guys, look, I know we've graphed a whole bunch. You guys want to graph first or write first? Yeah, let's write first. Sure. Okay. Here we go. We just have to identify slope and y-intercept. Doesn't matter what order we do it in. It makes no difference at all. I choose the y-intercept first because that appears to be something that I can do quickly. Okay, this is where my line crosses the y-axis. It's at the number 2. 2. Okay? So y equals mx plus b. Right now, I just found my y-intercept, my b number, 2. Right? So as I start to think about, okay, I can start to write this equation, I know the ending is my y-intercept. It's at positive 2. All right? Now we just have to figure out our slope, right? What is slope? Okay.
We need 2 points, Mr. Fricke. 2 points.
Yep. Trying to get. I'm not good at these, Mr. Knoll. I know this is the point 2, comma 1. I know this is the point -2, 3. Right? Those are the 2 points I want to use because I can never remember, right, how the ones on the y and x go. So I don't want to do it. Okay. Is that okay with you, Mr. Knoll?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. So I'm going to go y minus y. I'll pick the bigger one, 3 minus 1. All right. Got to start back here. -2 minus 2.
0.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is 2 over -2 minus 2. No, Mr. Knoll's just back there being silly. That's -2/4. Right? Which we would never say. Because we would say -1/2. Okay? That is your slope. That is your m. Replace your m with that number. Okay? So we put it all together. Y equals -1/2 x plus 2. Okay? There's our equation.
Cool.
All right. That is very cool. Okay? Everybody's good here. Any questions on that one?
Nah. Nope.
Okay?
You did awesome.
All right, let's graph something then.
Okay.
Okay. Again, we have to identify from that equation what's the slope, what's the y-intercept. Lock in your guesses.
Can you see it?
Yes.
I
Yes,
see
can.
it.
Remember, y equals mx plus b. Okay? So m is 1/3, b is -5. Here's your slope. Here's your y-intercept. All right? If we're going to graph this, guys, here's what we got to do. Where do we start? What's my starting quantity?
Yay.
-5. Go to your graph. Put a dot on -5. Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop. Okay. -5. I'm going to go right there.
Good.
Okay? Now, do not start at the origin. Start back from this point. Okay? We start here. Use your slope, right? So this was 1/3. This is my rise. This is my run. So I'm going to rise 1, run 3. From this point, rise 1, run 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay? If you want to keep going, because my graph has room, I can rise another 1, run 1, 2, 3. Okay? Do not draw your line just from here to here. We didn't do all that hard work for you to draw a line segment. I want a line, folks. Give me a good line.
That's right, folks.
Bam. Folks, draw me a line like that. Okay, guys, that's what 2-9 is. This is one of the more complicated things that we'll do all year. So if this seems a little tough, a little challenging, that's okay. But you got to stick with it, right? Keep working through it. Let us know what questions you have. And I think we should be good to go.
That's all we got.
Okay? That's all the time we got for today. Hope you guys are doing great. I will see you later.